Hi, some people ask me about the FM capability of the Gotharman LD3, so here a quick demo how you can do some FM sound with it. So first, we're gonna use an oscillator. I will select the chip 2, simply because the chip 2 have a far better response to frequency modulation. We can test that after, so first select the chip 2 and use the sine wave. Hear it? So the first thing we can do is FMing the oscillator back on itself, because you can choose which FM bus is active. So for now, this oscillator is in bus 1 and we FM with bus 1, so it's self-FM. As you can hear, it's a very simple sound, so let's use another oscillator on another bus FMing this one. So first, we're gonna copy this page because it's already oscillator 2 using sine wave, using function, and copy only we only need the layer A for this one, so copy this, go into slot 2 and pass this. So as you can see, we're already back to chip 2 on sine. Another thing we can do is set the second oscillator of the slot 2 to the bus 2. And right after that, we're going to the bus and set the bus 2 to off. So we don't hear any oscillators to the bus 2, they are only modulators. So now things we can do is back to the slot 1, select the FM bus of 1 send to bus 2, and now trigger the slot 1. Here. We can now use this function, trig2, so each time the slot 1 is triggered, it will trigger the slot 2 too. So remember, the slot 2 are for now going to the bus 2, and bus 2 is a modulator, and the length are the gate to trigger the oscillator. So you need to choose this value carefully, because if you trigger it too long, you will have the modulator going decay to the another note, etc. Or if you're doing too small, you have the FM just at the beginning of the song. Let's hear it for have a better idea. Okay, so now it's triggering the slot 2, so let's see the FM. And if we go to the slot 2, things you need to keep in mind is this oscillator, the slot 2 oscillator, the modulator oscillator, are go through the VCA. So if you change the adder of the VCA, you will change how the FM is sent to the bus. As you can hear, at some trigs of the slot 1, here, the FM sound is triggered, and some not. The reason why is, as I tell you before, the trigger length. So alright. Alright. So now, as you can hear, even with a short trigger, we have the modulator oscillator, which is trigger all the time by all the steps. So let's play with the VCA. Another thing you need to keep in mind is the envelope have an influence of the FM, but the level of the VCA too. If you go with much more lower level, the FM will have a more drastic effect. And of course, you can modulate the slot 2 oscillator by FM. For example, by default is on FM bus 1, so it will feed back the FM. Let's try it. It can be a good idea for add the noise burst, etc. But for now, let's add some other modulators. So keep in mind we already copy this oscillator page. So we just go to the slot 3 and paste it, sine tip 2. All right, let's do the same for the slot 4. Don't forget to put the slot 4 on 3, the new modulator, on bus 2, the bus we don't hear. Alright, so let's change. Alright, so now we're gonna use the slot 2 to trigger the slot 3, so another modulator oscillator, by using the same technique. Select trig 3 on the trigger net. Which one you use on slot 1? 34, so let's use the same. Or around. So now we have another modulator on this bus. And with a VCA and an envelope. Let's change the frequencies. And of course, you can use the FM. As you can hear, we're back at the original sine wave. By tweaking all these parameters, you can make some interesting FM sound, but one of the techniques I like to use is select the tune parameter of each modulator or oscillator with a random generator. So each trigs, it will generate a new random value, and you will have a new FM sound on each steps. So let's do that for the two first modulator we have. So let's hear how it can sound. Let's add last one. We need to trigger the part 4 with the 3. Alright. And let's assign to the 3 modulators Alright, so now we are going to reduce the VCA of the oscillator 1, so the one we're hearing. And as you can hear, you can create some interesting, simple FM drum. We're going to put this part on mono and play with all the VCA of all the operators. Another thing you can do is send some arbitrary number for the note of the oscillator we're hearing. And we can add to all this note a random modulator too. So now, at each step, we have a new, simple FM drum sound. You can play with all the VCA of the modulators. Or changing the tuning. At this point, I will personally sample everything and put a chop on every step for have the ability to use it in other situation, but I will show you this in another video. I hope it will help you to understand the basic concept of the FM on the Gotharman LD3 on how it can sound. Bye bye.